Hey there, it is Darby with Calm Math, and I am going through some of the Florida State Assessment paper-based tests. They are available on FLDOE website. The link will be in the description below for all of the tests in the series, the grade 4 test, and the grade 4 answer key. This is the math test. I am a certified teacher in Florida, so I am using the Florida test that I know of, but these could be helpful for anyone. Most of the content will be the same no matter what state you're in. So getting started with this test, it's also helpful for parents and teachers to review if you are working with students to know what they are learning about. Keep in mind that most standardized testing in schools is done on computer. I am just using the paper-based test as it's easier to scroll through when making the video. So with this particular practice test, there is a formula sheet or a reference sheet. So if you were doing this at home, you could print it out or take notes and write it down. I always encourage my students to make use of the reference sheet. So there's conversions on it, and they have some basic area and perimeter formulas that I know we'll use in this first section. And this will be two parts. Today, in this video, I will be going over session 1. I will link another video for the second part, session 2. All right. How many times greater is the value of 5 in 2,573 than the value of 5 in 6,459? So in this problem, we are looking at place value. And 5 in this first one is in the hundredths place. So that's like saying 500 if we're just looking at the value 5. And in this number, it's in the tenths place, or 50. So how many times greater is 500 than 50? Well, 50 times 10 would equal 500. And you're just moving it from the tenths place to the hundredths place. So that's times 10. Okay, there are 27 players on a soccer team. They're traveling to a game in 7 cars. There are 4 players in each of the first 6 cars. How many players on the soccer team will travel in the 7th car? So we know that there are 4 players in each of the first 6 cars. So each means to multiply. So if we do 6 times 4, that's 24. And there's 27 players total. So if we subtract 27 minus 24, there would be 3 players left to be in the 7th car. Okay, determine whether each number is prime or composite. So prime means that only the number 1 and the number go into itself. Composite means it's going to have factors. So 16 is a composite number because we could say it is 1 times 16, 2 times 8, and 4 times 4. Those are the factors of 16. So this is definitely composite. 13 is 1 times 13, and then nothing else goes into it evenly. So that would be a prime number. 12, 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. Something you can notice about composite numbers is if it's even, if it's even like 6 and 2 are even numbers, then it's going to be composite because you can always divide even numbers by 2. Okay, the number 9, 1 times 9 and 3 times 3. So this one is a composite number, many factors. And then the number 7, 1 times 7 is a prime number. Okay, Carey represented a fraction by shading parts of the model shown. And this particular model, there's 3, 1, 2, 3. There's 3 total things and 2 are shaded. So the 2 that are shaded over 3 total. So this is like the it's hard to write. I'm just going to put parts for the top because this is like a fraction. So part over total. So we're looking for equivalent things that equal 2/3. So let's scroll down and there's 5 different ones here. So A, this one is definitely 2 parts shaded over 3 total. So A is definitely equivalent. Let's look at B. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I should count differently. let me start that one over. I'm going to start counting with the shaded parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 shaded parts over 6 total parts. And you can reduce that if you divide 4 by 2 and 6 by 2, you get 2/3. So this one is also equivalent. Okay, so let's look at this one. C down here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shaded parts. Over how many total parts? 7, 8, 9, 10. So 6 over 10. If we were to reduce that, we could divide both by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So that one is not equivalent. Let's look at answer choice D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shaded parts. 9, 10, 11, 12. So 8 shaded parts out of 12 total parts. And we could divide both of these by 4. So 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. So that is equivalent. Okay, so this last one, answer choice E, there's 1, 2, 3 shaded parts out of 5. And that is its simplest form, so it is not equivalent. Now, you don't have to write all of this out. I just did it so visual people can see. But if you can do it in your head, that's great also. Okay, in social studies class, Armando learned about the state of Nevada. He drew the picture to show picture shown to represent the shape of Nevada. Which list below correctly describes the kinds of angles that appear inside the shape above? So this is a trapezoid, and we have 4 angles. So the top 2 angles are right angles, meaning it's 90 degrees. So 2 of them are right. So I can cross out answer choice A and C and D because none of those, this one says 2 right. And then 1 obtuse. So the 1 obtuse angle is something that's greater than 90 degrees. So this angle right here is greater than 90 degrees. It is obtuse. And then the acute angle is this one right here. So I'm gonna, and I always like to think of it as acute if it's little. So this one is acute, it is less than 90 degrees. So 1 acute, 1 obtuse, and 2 right angles. Okay, so this question has 2 parts. And this is similar to the area maze series I have. So if you would like practice with problems like that, check out some of the area maze content that I've created. 2 numbers are multiplied using the area model shown. Part A, complete the statement. For the box, fill in the bubble before the value that's correct. The value of the missing number in the area model is what? So we're looking for this question mark here that's under 90. And this is the area of that particular box. So let's look at the pattern here. We have 7 times 2,000 is 14,000. And in the next box, 7 times 700 is 4,900. And the very last box, 7 times 3 is 21. So for this missing value right here, it's going to be 7 times 90. So 7 times 9 is 63. 7 times 90 is going to be 630. Okay, so $630 is that missing value. For the second part, they want to know what's the product of the 2 numbers represented by the area model. So this top number here, 2,000 plus 700 plus 90 plus 3 is 2,700. Oh, my pencil stopped working. 93. And we're saying this times 7. So the point in breaking up with the area model is so you don't have to do multiplication this way. It can be easier for some people. And what we can do is add these numbers, add the area numbers together. So 14,000 plus 4,900 plus 630 plus 21. So if I add these up, I'm going to get 1 in the ones place, 5 in the tens place, 9 plus 6 is 15 in the hundreds place, carry the 1, 4 plus 4 plus 1 is 9 in the thousands place, and then 1 in the tens thousands place. So if we were to multiply this all together, you would get 19,551, which is answer choice C. Okay, Gene participates in a trivia contest. He completes each question in a half a minute. How long does it take for Gene to complete 10 questions? So half a minute is, and let's look at the, if you need to reference the reference sheet, you can, but looking at all the answer choices there in seconds. So we know that a minute is 60 seconds. Half a minute is going to be 30 seconds. So if he answers a question in 30 seconds, how long would it take him to complete 10 questions? So you're going to multiply. 30 times 10 is going to be 300 seconds. Okay, round 200,000. Let me start over. 245,675 to the nearest 100,000. So here's another place value. And the 5 is in the ones place. The 7 is in the tens place. The 6 is in the hundreds place. The 5 is in the thousands place. The 4 is in the 10,000s place. The 2 is in the 100,000s place. So we're rounding to the nearest 100,000. Let's look at the number next to the 2, which is a 4. Now, when you're rounding, if it's 5 and if it's greater than or equal to 5, then you round up. If it's less than 5, then it stays the same. So in this case, 4 is less than 5. So if we're rounding to the nearest 100,000, the 2 would stay the same, and then you fill in all of the placeholders with 0. So the answer to this would be 200,000. Okay, so here we are measuring degrees of angle P. An angle P is this part of the angle right here. So if we start at 0 and we go to here, what is the value right here? So these interim marks are like 5s, going up by 5. So we could say if this is at 40, halfway between 40 and 50 is at 45. So it would be 45 degrees. Okay, Daniela fills a container with soil by using a bowl. The bowl holds 3/4 of a cup of soil. Daniela uses 13 full bowls of soil to fill the container. How many cups of soil does the container hold? So here we're going to be multiplying 13 full bowls times 3/4 of a cup. So when you're multiplying a whole number times a fraction, you can put the whole number over 1 if that helps. And then you just multiply the top. 13 times 3 is 39. And multiply the bottom. 1 times 4 is 4. So 39 over 4 would be a correct answer. You could make it into a mixed number too, probably, but I would just leave it as this because it doesn't specify what to write it in as. Which statements correctly compare to numbers? So because this is plural, there's going to be more than one correct answer. I would suggest holding your hand up or using a piece of paper so you could only look at one thing at a time, if that would be helpful, because these are very similar numbers. And if you have something like dyslexia, it could be confusing. So let's look at A. And all of them start with 2000, so 20. We're just looking at the last two numbers. Is 59 greater than 95? No. So this one is not correct. Is 95 less than 59? No. So that is not correct. Is 59 less than 95? Yes. So C is one of the correct answers. Is 95 greater than 59? Yes. So that is a correct answer. And is 59 equal to 95? No. So that is not the correct answer. Okay, a rectangle has a length of 11 feet and a perimeter of 38 feet. What is the width in feet of the rectangle? So using the reference sheet on earlier in the test, perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width is the formula. And we know the perimeter of 38 feet. So I'm going to plug in 38 for perimeter. And what else do I know? The length of 11 feet. So I'm going to plug in 11 for the length. Okay, so now I can solve my formula. 2 times 11 is 22. Okay, and the next step would be to move the 22 to the other side. So we're going to subtract 22 from both sides. Oops. Okay, so 38 minus 22 is 16. So 16 equals 2W. And to get the W by itself, we're going to divide by 2 because 2 times W. So you do the inverse. Divide both sides by 2. 16 divided by 2 is 8, which is the width. And if it would be helpful to draw like a model of the rectangle, you could do that as well. You don't always have to use a formula to solve something. So you could say the length is 11. What is the width? If you walk all the way around it, it would equal 38. So that's another way to approach this. So the width is 8. What is the value of 1 3/10 in decimal form? So the 3 is over the tenths place. And when you have a decimal, like here's the whole number, and then you have place values coming out like this. So the first one is the tenths place. The second one is the hundreds, thousands. I'm not going to write all those out. But the first one is the tenths place. So meaning you're going to put the 3 in the tenths place. So it would just be 1.3. Yeah, this one's hundreds, this one's thousands. And then it goes to like 10,000s, 100,000s, you know, like it repeats the patterns. So being familiar with your place value, we've seen place value come up several times already in this portion of the test, is really important. Okay, which equation is true? So with these ones, there's only going to be one answer because it says which equation is, it's singular. So only one answer. And we're looking for the equation on the left, the math sentence, the terms on the left have to equal the terms on the right. So let's check this out. 340 plus 20 is 360. Does that equal 370 plus 10? 370 plus 10 is 380. So that is not true. Okay, 340 plus 30 is 370. Does that equal 350 plus 10? 50 plus 10 is 60. So this one is also not true. 340 plus 40 is 380. 340 plus 10 is 350. So this one is also not true. So that means D has to be the answer. Okay, Johnny has 17 marbles. Mitchell has 3 times as many marbles as Johnny. How many marbles does Mitchell have? So times is our keyword here, 17 times 3. 7 times 3 is 21. 1 times 3 is 3 plus 2 is 51. If you wanted to do this in like an area map, like we saw earlier in this, you could break it up into 10 and 7, because 10 plus 7 is 17. 3 times 10 is 30. 3 times 7 is 21. And then add 30 plus 21 is 51. So there's 2 different ways to do this one. And I think that is it for session 1. I will be making a video for the second part of this test for the grade 4 FSA practice paper-based test. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you found this helpful. The more you practice doing things outside of your comfort zone, like math tests, the easier it can be to build your capacity and growth mindset, and just overall help your anxiety when you do have to take actual tests. So I hope you found this helpful, and take care.